The warships came out of nowhere, sleek black hulls like daggers drawn in silence, tearing through the void. No lights, no signals, no warning. Just the sudden cold presence of something the galaxy wasn't prepared for. Humanity's dark matter. Fleet, and at the center of it all stood Commander Ree, scarred from 20 years of Earth's failures. He'd watched Earth get laughed at by the Coalition, watched their ships denied fuel, their colonies left to rot on dead rock, their diplomats tossed out like drunk beggars. And now Ree stood on the bridge of the Vindicator, Earth's first dark matter dreadnought, staring at the sensor readings of 40 alien cruisers running silent near the mining belt of Eurus. 9. They didn't see him yet. That was the beauty of dark matter propulsion. It didn't glow, didn't hum, didn't give off a single photon of betrayal. Earth's science had cracked it in silence while the galaxy looked the other way, too busy laughing to notice the hum of Earth's vengeance building under the surface. "Orders, sir?" Lieutenant Brandt asked, eyes flicking between the sensor readings and the blacked-out viewport. No stars visible, no light, just the infinite dark like the soul of the ship itself. Target their command ship. Send a message. Number. Comes just wreckage. Brandt hesitated. He was new. Still thought there were rules out here. Still believed in the old Earth. But Reed didn't flinch. He never did. Not since the slaughter of Tama, where the last Earth colony begged for help while the Coalition watched it burn from orbit. Ree had been there. The Vindicators shifted, silent. Fluid, then release. A black lance of compressed, dark energy ripped across space, moving too fast for the naked eye, too precise to miss. The alien command cruiser never had a chance. One moment it was there, the next it was shards and a boiling gas cloud. Panic spread instantly. Alien ships scattered, shields lighting up, trying to track a phantom. But the Vindicator didn't wait. It struck again and again. 3 ships gone before they realized the attack wasn't coming from a fleet. It was just one ship. One ship doing this. Ree watched it all, jaw clenched, face blank. He wasn't angry. He wasn't proud. This wasn't revenge. This was justice. Cold, calculated, overdue. Put out a pulse burst. No words, just coordinates. Let them know Earth's awake. To the Council, the Comes officer swallowed hard. Ree nodded. Once. Let the bastards come asking. Because now Earth wasn't begging anymore. They were warning. Hush, hush, the Council's confusion. The Council's high chamber was a cathedral of arrogance. Seated beneath the towering crystalline spires of Amethyr Prime, the delegates of 27 species formed a perfect arc around the central dais. The floor was polished. Obsidian designed to reflect their grandeur back at them. A place built to worship their superiority, not question it. But today that sanctity was broken. They watched in chilled silence as replay footage looped across the main holo display. Black nothingness, then flashes, sharp, surgical alien ships crumbling mid-maneuver. No enemy signals, no declaration of war, just the quiet, precise obliteration of the Coalition's patrol wing at Yaros 9. This cannot be Earth. Counselor Jewel hissed, scales flaring with irritation. He was a Goldray war advisor, smug in his reptilian bulk. Humans have no technology to cloak emissions like this. Certainly not at dark matter levels. It must be rogue Teshari tech. They have always flirted with chaos. They claimed it, murmured Counselor Vina of the Alari, long fingers clasped beneath her chin. No transmission, just a silent data, burst with Earth's old flag and coordinates burned into the file header. Earth is a ruin. Their people are fractured. Half their colonies were lost to famine and economic collapse. We left them behind for a reason, spat Counselor Dreven, his blue eyes narrowing, a Mun merchant lord. He'd grown rich off Earth's failed trade pacts, selling scraps to desperate outposts. The chamber buzzed with contempt, disguised as confusion. Earth was a footnote, a mistake, not a threat. The fact that one human ship had turned a coalition fleet into glowing debris was not just shocking, it was insulting. Perhaps it is not Earth, the Xenari delegate offered softly, voice like silk drawn over steel. Perhaps it is something wearing Earth's colors to provoke a response. We must not act rashly. Counselor Cadron stood then, tall, old, human, but not of Earth. He was born on Mars, son of diplomats who had long ago surrendered to the politics of the outer colonies. He hadn't been to Earth in 40 years, and he wore the distance like armor. But today, even he looked uneasy. I've read the energy signatures. It is human. There is no other species with a background in gravitational resonance frequencies that match what we saw. Earth was experimenting with dark matter harnessing in secret labs before they were embargoed. We believe the embargo starved them of funding. We were wrong. Are you suggesting they've been building warships in secret while begging for aid? Counselor Jewel gave a sharp laugh. That would require discipline, intelligence, vision. Humans lack all three. Cadron didn't flinch. They built it because we forced them to. Earth was cornered, left to rot. Their desperation became focus. Silence. Venvina leaned forward, her voice suddenly cold. If this warship is truly theirs, then we have a problem. Because the footage shows one ship, just one, and it moved like a ghost. What if they have more? The words hung in the chamber like smoke, thick, inescapable. We summon them, Jewel. We summon their leaders. Force an explanation. If they defy us, they won't come, Cadron said. Then we make them come, Julik barked, pounding his clawed hand on the armrest. Send a fleet to Earth. Surround it. Bring them to their knees. Show them they are still beneath us. And if they have more of those ships? Vina asked quietly. Jewel hesitated, because in truth the footage was terrifying. Not just the destruction, but the precision, the cruelty, no wasted fire, no signs of testing. That wasn't a prototype. That was operational deployment. That was a statement. Counselor Draven cleared his throat. There is another option. All eyes turned. We sent a diplomatic envoy, one ship under truce. Let them speak. Let us learn what the hell they've become. Earth's unveiling. 3 weeks later, the diplomatic vessel Lucent Dawn approached Sol under white banners. It was a peaceful ship, unarmed, bearing the insignia of the Galactic Council, a mark that once commanded fear and respect. Now it felt more like a plea. As they entered Earth's orbit, nothing greeted them. No defenses, no warnings, just the airy calm of a silent planet watching. The captain of the Lucent Dawn, a seasoned Delari named Ree, opened a channel. This is an official delegation of the Galactic Council. We come under terms of truce. We request parley. Silence. Then an answer. Not a voice, not a visual, just coordinates. Ree frowned. They want us to land in old Chicago, old Earth cities, where ghost zones, collapsed infrastructure, no governance. But the message was clear. Follow their lead or don't come at all. They obeyed. The delegation descended into a shattered skyline, towers bent by time and weather, roads buried in vines and rust. But amidst the ruin there was movement. Humans in uniform standing in formation. Black armor, no insignias, no smiles. The delegation was led to a converted council chamber inside an old municipal dome, gutted and reinforced. No flash, no decoration, just a table. And behind it, Commander Ree. He didn't rise, didn't offer a hand. Speak, he said, Counselor Venus. Image shimmered into life via hollow projection. We come in peace. We want to understand. Ree's face was unreadable. Understand what? Why Earth is building weapons like the one used at Yaris 9. Why now? Ree leaned forward. His voice, when it came, was low and even. Because we remembered who we are, and we remembered who you are. Vina blinked. We gave Earth every chance. You gave us pity, Ree snapped. You cut off trade. You blocked our diplomats. You laughed at our failures, and then sold us back our own technology at inflated prices. We begged. We bargained. And when we stopped crawling, you looked away. So we built in silence, in secret. And now you're listening again. Vina tried to. Keep calm. A single warship does not threaten the Council. It wasn't meant to, Ree said. It was meant to prove that we can and that we will. So what do you want? Vina asked. Ree's eyes narrowed. Recognition. No more embargoes. No more mockery. And no more fleets orbiting our colonies without permission. Vina's voice tightened. You want sovereignty. Ree smiled. It wasn't warm. We've always had it. Now we have teeth. Vina paused, then asked, How many ships? Ree stood slowly, walked to the window behind him, looked out at the battered skyline of a reborn world. Enough, he said, and as he stared into the horizon, the sky shimmered. One by one, black shapes emerged from the clouds, silent giants, hulking shadows of dark metal gliding into view. Not one, not two, dozens. Hash. The galaxy's new reality, the lucent dawn, pulled away from Earth hours later, message in hand. And the galaxy, for the first time in centuries, understood. Earth was no longer waiting for a seat at the table. They were building their own. The council chamber was dead silent as the last of the transmission ended. There they were, those black leviathans hovering silently in Earth's sky, like predators returned to the top of the food chain. Dozens of them, untouched by gravity, unmatched by anything the galaxy had in orbit. The humans didn't boast. They didn't threaten. They just let the image speak. We are no longer broken. For Counselor Draven, it was a personal insult. Earth had been a business failure, a backwater pawn. Now they paraded war machines and negotiated from a seat of power. It was disgusting. We cannot let this stand, he barked, slamming his palm on the console. We should have crushed Earth when they defaulted on their treaties. Instead, we allowed them to slither into the shadows. Vina didn't respond immediately. Her Elari features remained unreadable, but her mind worked faster than most in the chamber. She wasn't thinking about revenge. She was thinking about consequences. They've played this carefully. No open war, no declaration, just one surgical strike and a show of force. The others are watching, Draven. If we attack Earth now, it won't be justice. It'll look like fear, Jules snarled. I'm afraid, and I'm not ashamed to say it. That fleet was built while our eyes were elsewhere. What else have they built? What else are they hiding? Cadron, the human-born delegate, leaned forward. You forget what we did to them. You act like they came from nowhere, but we forged them through pressure. You starved them of diplomacy, technology, even food. And now you're surprised they no longer need us. Draven's lip curled. Don't romanticize. Them, Cadron, Earth is still a fractured world. Their colonies fought civil wars. Their politics were poisoned. They should have collapsed. But they didn't, Cadron shot back. Instead, they unified in silence. The chamber shifted, not toward anger, but unease. Then, unexpectedly, the Zenari envoy spoke, a rare occurrence. Their voice was slow, almost melodic. There is more, the Zenari said softly. Our deep surveillance posts along the Archeron drift picked up distortions. Dark matter echoes. They match the energy signature of the Earth-built ships. Not near Sol, not even near their colonies. Vina frowned. Where? Near Delphi Sigma, 17 light-years from Earth and deep unclaimed space. Everyone froze. That's outside. They're borders, Cadron said. Yes, the Zenari nodded. Which means they are not just defending anymore. They are moving. Hash the catalyst and the black hole back on Earth, deep beneath the old Chicago war hub. Commander Ree stood inside the blackened chamber, known as the core. Screens lined every wall, tracking patrols, supply routes, and quiet surveillance operations running across 20 star sectors. But at the center of the room was something else. A pod sealed, still humming. Ree watched it in silence. The engineers called it Project Catalyst. The prototype warship was deadly, yes, but this was something else entirely. You're up late. A voice murmured behind him. Ree didn't turn. He knew the voice. Director Heron, head of intelligence, and Earth's most paranoid bastard. His presence usually meant something had gone wrong. What did they say? Ree asked. They're panicking. Some want war. Some want more diplomacy. Most don't know what to believe, but they all agree on one thing now, Harlan said. They see us again. Good. Harlan circled the pod slowly. Do you want them to attack? Ree shook his head. I want them to hesitate. That's when they make mistakes. Harlan smiled thinly. And what if they don't? Ree finally turned to face him. Then we show them what dark matter can really do. He walked past Heron and out of the chamber, boots echoing. There was no room for doubt anymore. Earth's plan had worked. For decades, they'd played the long game, sacrificing image for independence, letting the Council think they were broken while they carved their own path through the void. But now the galaxy would learn that Earth never needed saving. They needed. Remembering, on the outer edges of Coalition space, a military patrol vessel, the Alleran Vex, was conducting routine scans when something triggered every alarm at once. It wasn't a ship. It wasn't even a signal. It was a whole. A perfect sphere of total dark suspended in space, like a piece of the void itself carved into the starfield. Nothing escaped it. No light, no energy. Then it moved. Not drifted, moved purposefully. The Alaran Vex sent a full priority alert to Central Command, but the response never came because by then the ship was gone. All that remained was static, and a growing hole in space where it once was. 3 days later the news hit the Council like a lightning strike. The Alorian Vex was one of their most advanced patrol cruisers, designed for deep space resilience. It didn't just vanish, it was erased. A pattern was emerging, and it terrified them. "These weapons go beyond what's lawful," Counselor Venus said to the emergency assembly. "Even in war, dark matter deployment is regulated. But what Earth has built? It's something new, something not bound by sanity." Jewel for once didn't interrupt. His claws tapped nervously. Cadron stood. "They didn't start this." "You keep defending them," Draven sneered. "No," Cadron said evenly. "I'm warning you. You created the enemy you now fear. If you go in guns blazing, they will respond, and we will lose." Silence until Vina said what none of them wanted to admit. They already won. Unraveling the galaxy at Earth's orbital yard, the newest ship left dry dock. The Nemesis-class dreadnought. 10 times the mass of the Vindicator. Its hull shimmered like ink in the void, absorbing starlight. No symbols, no identification. It didn't need any. Inside, human officers trained in absolute silence, synchronizing with AI cores that whispered only in code. These weren't ships anymore. They were ghosts with teeth dot and somewhere far from Earth in a quiet, unclaimed system. A Council listening post detected the arrival of 6 unidentified vessels. They didn't respond to hails. They didn't transmit coordinates. They just orbited, the gas giant like vultures. Then, within 3 hours, the planet was gone. Not destroyed, gone, erased from gravitational memory, as if humanity had pressed delete. The Council's intelligence hall was sealed, all surveillance devices disabled. No recording permitted, no external links. Only the 12 ranking officers of the Coalition Military Commission, the leading strategic advisors of the galaxy's dominant political powers, were allowed inside. At the center of the polished obsidian table lay a single data pad. No labels, no access port, just one blinking red light. Counselor Vina sat stiffly, hands clasped, face pale. "This is the raw footage." "Yes," confirmed Analyst Forel, his voice hushed. "Unedited from listening post 117. He pressed the pad. The hollow projection emerged above the table, flickering in silence. First, 6 black ships orbiting the gas giant known as Jareth 9. Quiet, still, not transmitting anything. Second, a growing light inside the gas giant, unnatural violet-black energy starting to pulse at its core, visible through telescopic imaging, then collapse. Not an explosion, not implosion, but collapse. Like reality caved inward around the planet. The entire gas giant compressed into a single point, then vanished. No trace, no gravitational pull, no energy discharge, like it was plucked from existence. Someone gasped, no one spoke. "The ships did this?" asked Counselor Draven, his voice a whisper now, full of something new, fear. Analyst Forel nodded. "We believe it was deliberate, a demonstration." "What weapon can do that?" Jewel gasped. "It's not a weapon," Vina said softly. "It's physics rewritten. Controlled dark matter inversion. They've reached a level of manipulation we didn't think possible." not even theoretical. Cadron, standing near the back, said nothing. But he knew this wasn't just Earth saying we exist. This was Earth saying, "We have mastered the one force you all ignored." Because while the Council obsessed over diplomacy and trade and treaties, Earth had been experimenting with gravity, time dilation, dark energy, and suffering. Always suffering. Alone, forgotten. And now they didn't want a seat at the table. They were flipping the table over. Commander, Ree stared out the viewport of the Nemesis as the last debris of listening, post 117, drifted into oblivion. Another silent target eliminated. No survivors, no data escaped. They didn't need to know. Why Earth did it, they needed to understand what came next. "Report," he said flatly. "Forward stations online," replied Tactical Officer Deem. "No counter signals. The Council's quiet for now. They're trying to figure out if they're still in charge," Ree said. A second officer, Commander Vosen, spoke up. "Some of the colonies are uneasy. Messages from Mars, Titan, asking if this means open war." Ree turned. "It's not war if it's surgical. They want answers, Ree." He didn't blink. "Then they'll get the same answers Earth got when we asked for food, fuel, or recognition. Silence and collapse." Vosen didn't respond. He knew better. Earth didn't want conquest. Conquest was for those who still believed in laws. Earth wanted leverage. They weren't going to rule the galaxy. They were going to make the galaxy afraid to move without them. The silent rebellion on Amethyr Prime. The Council met in a midnight session. All 27 member races, physically or via hologram. "This cannot continue," Counselor Draven said, voice tight. "They've gone too far. We let them build this," Vina said. "And now we pretend to be shocked." "They destroyed a planet," Jules snarled. "A planetary body. That's not politics. That's annihilation." Cadron leaned forward. "And what if it had been one of ours? What if that demonstration had been on a council world? Would we still be talking, or would we already be lighting up Earth's skies with warships?" The silence that followed was suffocating because the answer was obvious. They would be retaliating, not debating. But the Council wasn't retaliating because they couldn't. They had never planned for Earth to become untouchable. Far from Earth, on the fringe planet of Halen 6, rebellion was stirring. The planet had once been an Earth colony, but after the Council's embargoes and economic warfare, it was abandoned. Now it was home to a fractured militia, one of many who believed Earth had sold them out years ago. But now those same people were rethinking everything. A man named Corin stood before a crowd of settlers, projecting a shaky image of the Nemesis-class warships above his makeshift podium. "They built this while we starved, while our children died of dust lung and ration rot, and now they show it off like they did us a favor," the crowd murmured. Corin's face was lined with dust and fury. "I say we stop waiting for Earth to rescue us. We build our own weapons, our own alliances. The Council fears them. Good. Let them fear us too. We rise or we rot forgotten." The message was picked up by rebel networks, pirates, exiles, forgotten Earthborn colonies. Earth's rise had inspired fear across the Council, but it had also sparked something else, hope and resentment. Both dangerous in equal measure. Back aboard the Vindicator, now operating out of Jupiter's dark side base, Ree listened to a report with cold fury. The Halen rebellion is spreading. They're rallying former Earth colonies, some in council space. They say we've become gods who abandoned their own. Ree clenched his jaw. They're not wrong, but they're not ready either. We can send a suppression team. No, Ree snapped. We go in ourselves. Commander, I'll speak to them. Not as a god, but as the man who watched the galaxy spit on our name. Let's see if they still remember what Earth really is.